Yeah.
for our 60th anniversary, complete with a Hollywood makeover updating all of the props and movie making equipment to the 21st century. All right, folks, I've got to remind you, because we are about halfway through our tour right now, please stay seated during the entire tour. The studio's private property, and if you drop your phone or can't wait to use the restroom, pull the ready cord to get my attention, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Now, I don't know about you, we've been to Skull Island, we've been through an earthquake. I am ready for a vacation. So let's head on over to Amity Island. Amity means friendship, and I know that the sign says beach closed, but I spoke with Mayor Hahn this morning. He said that everything's fine. The shark has been caught, so I hope you brought your swimsuit, your sunscreen. It's a gorgeous day out, and my buddy George should already be out there. He said he was going to find us a really great swimming spot, all right? So, oh yeah, there's his boat. Hey, George!
Oh, you see the shark in the water?
Don't worry, folks. George is very brave. He always shows us he's got a lot of guts. Was used in filming Jaws, and that Bruce was named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer Bruce, and Bruce is still Steven Spielberg's lawyer to this day. The man, not the mechanical shark, of course. Now, we just got a really neat presentation there of practical effects. So practical effects are the fire, the water, the things that we don't put in later with computers. And we're going to go see another display of practical effects here, but this time it's going to be more with weather. So to tell you about the weather, I have co-host of the Today Show and weather anchor, Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968.
Whoa. Oh yeah, we get the good side. Oh no.
To the only part of the back lot
we're like
with a
right there.
100% chance of rain. The flash flood.
Well.
And just like magic, and right on there goes the rain. Filmmakers having the ability to control the weather gives them so much flexibility, and the practical nature of it is obviously amazing. But what I think is most incredible about what weather can do for a film is the storytelling. So think about your favorite romance, right? How much more romantic are those scenes when there's rain and they're in love, right? Or what about your favorite horror film, right? How much more spooky are those scenes when there's the thunder and the lightning and the rain? It really does magic to sell what the storytellers and the filmmakers are trying to.
Oh, there goes the water.
You can see that these droplets are a little larger.
Oh my God.
Better on camera. Uh-oh, folks, hang on.
Woo!
Wow.
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%.
this music video, along with Old Mexico here. Old Mexico has been used in Jack Black's Nacho Libre, and Paramount used it for an episode of Star Trek Picard. So live long and prosper, folks. Now, as we enter 6 Points, our western town, to our right, we're going to be passing by a stable here, and that was used in My Little Chickadee with Mae West. To our left, we'll be passing an opera house, and that is where Leonardo DiCaprio and young actor Julia Butters sat in that scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And now to our right, we're passing by some doors that look identical. They've got the white frame and the blue curtains, but they're different sizes. So what's up with that, right? So our western town here, 6 Points, was called 6 Points because 6 different productions could all be filming at the same time because they were silent films. So the need to be quiet for each other was not even a factor. So that was a little, those doors are a movie magic trick that date back to that time because the camera only sees what the camera sees. So we can use perspective to our advantage. So maybe if there was an actor portraying a bad guy and they wanted him to look scarier and burlier, they would put him next to that short door and it would make him look taller. And the opposite is true as well. Maybe there was an actor who was supposed to be a damsel in distress and they wanted her to look like she might be a little more likely to be tied up on some railroad tracks, say. They would put her in front of the tall door and it would make her look a little more in need of rescuing, say. But as we leave the Old West, we can leave the old gender roles as well. Now we're going to be passing by Amity Island once more, so I'm going to turn it over to the director of Jaws to tell you a little about his film and the attraction.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
Oh yeah, they had a lot of problems with
Now,
that.
real quick, as we head up the hill, if you look at that dock, it says Cabot Cove, and that's because it was Cabot Cove for Angela Lansbury's Murder, She Wrote. Now, as we leave Amity Island and head up the hill into this lovely residential area, to our right is this White House. That is a practical set, meaning inside and outside can be used and filmed and function mostly like a full building. The Chicken Ranch is what we call this White House, and it was used in Dolly Parton's Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Okay, you know the words. And I will always love you. We could turn around and go audition for The Voice. Anybody? No? All right, just thought I'd ask. All right, well, as we continue through this neighborhood, we're going to be passing by some signs of another iconic neighborhood, and those are the Lion Estate signs. And of course, the Lion Estates were home to Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Those are not the original signs from the film. They were actually handmade by a fan club, and they donated them to us here at Universal, and we proudly display them on our tour. Now, we're heading up Steven Spielberg Drive, and Steven Spielberg was a producer on Back to the Future, so I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about Universal and his experiences here.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
And without further ado, let's head into Steven Spielberg's set from War of the Worlds.
That's why it's still here. Oh, wow.
Sit down and talk about what if it's right in the big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. Close.
Wow.
Robbie, get in. Get in.
Now this is a real 747. It was already decommissioned, and it came from what they call a plane graveyard up in the Mojave Desert. It's torn apart for a couple of reasons. Of course, the artistry of the disaster film they were trying to tell, but also it had to fit under all of those freeway overpasses, coming down the 14 to the 5, the 170, whatever other roads they took. But we're passing by a very iconic home here to our right. Home of Norman Bates and Mother from Alfred Hitchcock's film Psycho. Now take a look up in the top windows, you might see Mother. She rocks. Now, Psycho was the first film to show a flushing toilet on screen. But that's all the potty humor I have for you today. All right, folks, now we are heading into our drop-off here, which is special for our 60th anniversary experience. Now, for the first few decades of the studio tour, one of our hallmarks was a visit to Plot Plaza, where guests disembarked for once-in-a-lifetime photo opportunities. Well, guess what? Just for our 60th anniversary, we have brought that opportunity back.
Oh my god. So cool. We get to stop off and take
Now, as we're rolling in here, take a look at the Bates house up there. Now, it was built on a 3/4 scale because it makes it look farther away and a little more ominous when you're down here at Bates Motel. So it's not a full-size house at the 3/4 scale. All right, folks. Now remember, this is a limited stop. When you're ready to continue your tour, please